What's up, everybody? Tweets here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a custom melee weapon. So, as soon as you make your folder for what you're making in your P drive, convert all your textures and set up your RV mats, like I show you in other videos. And we're going to bring our model in. So let's bring in our model in Object Builder. And scale it. All right. Now that we have our model, I'm going to select the whole thing. Get rid of these selections over here by just right-clicking on them after I select them all and delete. Do not hit delete on your keyboard or you will delete your actual model. After that, we're going to apply our textures. So, apply your texture. Stick that on here. Get your RV mat. Alright. With it, after that, once it's still selected, just right click and create a new selection. CBTek. CBYTEK. After that, now we're going to create a proxy. Since this one here is a machete, I'm going to create a proxy of the vanilla machete in here so I can size it and everything. So that is under your P drive, weapons. So it's DayZ, weapons. Then you're going to go to melee, blade, and then look for what you're making. I'm doing a machete, so machete. And then we're going to get our previewer going. So bring up Bulldozer. Alright, now that Bulldozer is loaded, as you can see, this model, my model is way bigger. So we got to scale it and get it angled with the vanilla machete. So that's what we do. So just select your model, the CBTek, and start lining it up. So let's get that going the right way. And let's start bringing it down. And let's start getting it lined up with the model. It's still pretty big, so I'm going to bring it down more. Still pretty big. Still big, but well, let's see here. Actually, that's it's pretty good. But let's get it all handled right, and you want the handle to line up with the handle of the vanilla one. So that is what we're working on. I could probably make it a little bit bigger. We're looking all right there. All right. Yeah, that's looking good. I'm going to move it over a little bit though, and there we go. Now we got it lined up pretty good with the vanilla model. So now we can remove the proxy. So I'm going to select the proxy, hit delete on my keyboard, and then right click and delete the selection. Now that we have that, here's our model. Now I'm going to go and create a geometry. So we're going to zoom this out a little bit. We're going to create a box around it. So create a box. And let's size it up. That should be good. We could probably bring in this a little bit, lower it down. There we go, just like that. And then select your bots, delete it out of here, create a new LOD, properties, geometry, paste. You could also just instead of creating the bots in here, just create a LOD, geometry LOD first, and then create your bots in here, and then it'll be easier for you to size it without accidentally selecting any of your model. And if you want this like yellowish to show the actual model that you're working on, to show up in all your other LODs so you can get an easier reference, you can just go to File, Options, and tick the View Background LOD, and that'll set that up for you. So now we have that. We're gonna go to Structure, Topology, Find Component. We're gonna give every geometry a new property, Auto Center, to 0 for the value. Okay, and then we are gonna create new LODs of fire geometry, paste in the same geometry that you just made. I want to edit this one because it's a little big. Let me just do the same for the geometry. There we go. That'll be better. All right, we did the geometry, fire geometry. Now we're going to create another one. And this one's going to be view geometry. Then I'm going to create a memory. Paste the bots here. Delete component 01 out of here, but leave in your bots. Now, from one that I made in the past, I'm going to copy my memories from that and paste it and line it up a little bit because this model is a little taller, so I'm going to make it a little taller, but I'm not going to really have to mess with it. This is all pretty much, especially this stuff here, is just pretty much how it sits in on the ground in your inventory. If these are off, you're going to get like either like in view is where it looks at like the image. So if you tab out in your inventory and you see the little image of your melee, this shows this is how you control that. So if it's zoomed in, that image is going to be too big. If it's off, it's going to be crooked. If it's zoomed way out, it's going to be too small. So that's how you adjust that. And then all this other stuff is like how it's, if you have it off, it'll just float in the air when it's on the ground. You want to have it set up pretty good. It should work. If you're doing a melee, it's pretty easy. You can just copy this and paste it to yours and just resize it to your model. And that's it. So once we have the memories, then we're just going to duplicate our main LOD now a few times. I'm going to go with 4, and I'm going to take 4th, and I'm going to go to properties on it and turn this one into a view pilot. Now we have that done. We're going to save it. So save into your folder. I'm going to call it sample melee. You call it whatever you want. Once you are done that is it. Close that part out. And now we're going to configure it. So go to DayZ, weapons, melee, whatever melee you're making. go find the config for that. So I'm going to take this top bit here, create a new one, new folder. And now I'm going to look for the machete. So I'm just going to search it. All right, here's the machete. I'm going to copy all that code, and then we can adjust it for what we want. So copy the vanilla machete code, paste it under your COG vehicles here. I'm going to backspace that so it lines up. Above that, I'm going to create another class, and it's going to be machete, because we're going to use the vanilla machete as a base, so we won't have to script anything. Sample, we're going to give it our class name that we want. Give it your display name. Do whatever you want for your description. Now we're going to get our model path. So back to your P drive and your folder. And then paste that. Get your P3D name. Okay, now that we have that, now we can start messing around with things that if we want. So like repair with kits, weight, how much does it weigh in your inventory, loot tag. Since we're reading off the vanilla, we don't really need it, but you can keep it in case you want to change it to like military or anywhere else if you don't want it to spawn in those areas. Same with here, loot category, you could turn that into military if you want, or whatever. Item info, knife, it's a melee, a bladed melee, so that's going to be your common one for that. You're not going to need to mess with that stuff. Damage system, here we're going to have to add our new RV mats, so just like in other videos, you see my other videos, I've shown you how to make these RV mats, especially the my weapons part 2 video shows more of the whole details, more details on RV mats and setting up the damage and destruct ones. So now we got the pass to our RV mats. Now we're gonna give it the first two are just your base, the main RV mat. Second two will be your damage. And then the last will be your destruct. Okay. One-handed for bladed weapons. You can change it to two-handed, whatnot. We're not gonna need much of anything here, really, because it's just gonna pick up from the vanilla. So we can you can either leave it or delete it. It don't matter. We're gonna close off this code here. And you know what? That's actually, oh wait. I forgot to give the path to the destruct right there. There we go. Hit points, you can raise it to whatever you want or keep it the vanilla, and that's fine. And then you just make sure you got everything you wanted from it. Yep. So that's it. Once it's all configured like that, you can save this as, go to your P drive, There we go. Draw trim fade. .cpp. And then do a quick little double check. I always like to double check everything just to make sure it's how I want it. And then we pack it. So we bring up our PBO project. Setup. I always do to set up and delete all temp before I do anything. And I select our source folder, P drive, select your mod, crunch. And we wait. There we go. That's the sound. Now we are done. And we go test. We are in game. I'm going to spawn in the melee that we just made. Put it in my hands. Look at it. Make sure it's sitting right. Yep, it is. Looking good. Yep. Check it all out. Make sure everything looks right. Looks good. Looks good. Yep. Picture looks good too. So yeah. That's it. It's working pretty good. Yeah, that's it. Now you got a new melee. So, link is going to be in the description for the file, and there will also be a link to the Discord if you have any questions. Until the next one, thanks for watching. Like, share, and sub for more, and I will catch you guys later.